All right, let's get into this. So my name is Keith Baxter, and what I'm going to attempt to do in this video is show you how to promote these insurance agent directory sites in a way that's very, very powerful and a bit under the radar. So what you're seeing right now is a site that looks much like yours, but this is a site that I have for myself. So what I'm going to do is we're first going to start off by getting data. And the data that we're going to gather is the contacts that we've imported into the site, or that I've imported into the site for you at the beginning. So the first thing that you'll do is you'll log into the back end and you'll go to listings and click CSV export. What this is going to do is generate an export file of all of the agents that are on your website. And this is going to essentially be our keyword list and our link list. So the concept here, let's backtrack just a little bit. The concept here is fairly simple. What we're going to do is we are going to take this keyword list, we're going to take this link list, we are going to generate content with it, and then we are going to create a tiered promotional structure using the power of Amazon S3 and Microsoft Azure. Now, chances are you've never heard of Azure or used Azure, and you may have, but it's not as well known as Amazon S3. And most people look at Amazon S3 as a storage warehouse for data, but we're going to be using it for their domain authority, which certain locations like Virginia are extraordinarily high, and we're going to use that power to funnel links back to our listings or the links on our website, thus creating higher page authority on each site, which then funnels into higher domain authority for the overall site. And at the end of the day, usually it takes about a month to 2 months to start seeing the movement, but at that point in time we are going to have one heck of a powerful site that relatively easily begins to rank the insurance agents that are within our directory. Now, with that being said, I'm going to introduce to you all of the tools and all of the processes that I use for this. This all originally came from an affiliate promotion, and well over 100 plus affiliate programs promoted using this system has proven it out. It takes generally about a month for it to kick in, but when it kicks in, it's self-perpetuating and it continues to go. And so far, the Amazon S3 and Azure links don't lose favor in Google, thus keeping the links powerful. Originally, this starts as a 4-tier system, meaning I would gather 4 keyword lists and then promote each list using the system with the links of the previous run to create backlinkings. It's a tiered backlinking structure, boosting the power of each set of links on the run before it. That's fine with the affiliate stuff, and I've done as little as 2 tiers and as many as 8. And usually 4 works because of the type of keyword list that I'm generating. And unfortunately, that's a bit beyond the scope of this video because we're focused on the insurance sites right now. But with this, we are going to at least be doing 2 tiers. Tier 1 will be promoting the links directly on our website, and then Tier 2 will be promoting the links that we generated from Tier 1. I know that sounds like a lot, but you're going to understand everything here shortly. So as you see that I have generated the CSV list, I clicked it. Again, we went to listings, CSV export. It's going to generate the CSV file. 1 second as the CSV file opens. All right. So, well. Goodness. There we go. All right. So we'll jump into, here's the CSV file that we had. All right, so really, we can delete every row on here except rows B and C. So let's just do that for simplicity's sake. All right, so at this point, we have our keywords, which is their name, And then we have the URLs, which is the URL associated with the keywords. Now, when we do the promotion, it's not necessary, nor do we really care to keep them together. And you'll understand why as we go through this. But just for now, consider these the keywords and these the links. The second thing that we're going to do is we're going to jump into the content management system. Now, very, very few people know what this is. It's a very expensive monthly content system, but the concept is it's far beyond any automated content system in existence today. Not only will it generate content for you based on whatever keyword you enter, but then it will structure the content using links, keywords, videos, images, header tags. It perfectly optimizes everything, even has some schema built into it, which all goes into the system that we'll be using to generate the websites, and I'll show you that after we generate this. So for starters, the website that I have, it's a Houston insurance agent website, so we'll just use that as a keyword. Probably not the best keyword to start with, but for the sake of this, we're going to be using overlays on all of the content on the S3 and Azure sites. So with that being said, we don't really have to worry about the content being read because everything's going to be overlaid and nobody's going to see it except the search engines. So we'll just start with calling this Houston Insurance Agents. Maybe let's do this, Houston, Texas, just to make sure that we're very clear. We're just going to put that keyword in. We're not going to do anything with the modules at this point. We are going to spin the sentences, and I do like this to be very readable. I have found that the plagiarism protection system it really messes the content up a bit, doesn't make it as readable, so we're going to leave that unchecked. I do not spin paragraphs, so we'll leave that unchecked. We'll go ahead and create 5 pages. For the sake of this, really only a couple pages are necessary, and then the word count that we'll use is 2,000 words. Again, Google likes long content, so that's what we're going to give them. Sometimes more or less, it just really depends, but I have found that 2,000 generated with this system and the way that we do this seems to work pretty well. So I click generate content, and you'll see here in just a moment it doesn't take very long for the system to go out and generate content. This particular one is running off of 2 servers simultaneously. So it researches the content and puts everything together relatively quickly. I could pause this, but I want you to see everything and experience it as it happens. So I'll just continue to talk to you while this works. What we're going to end up doing with this after this is generated, we'll generate headers, then we'll generate images, videos, we'll input our links and the keywords, and we're good to go. So one of the interesting things about the headers is either you can input your own keywords as headers, which if you're using any keyword list that are question based, this is an ideal place for that. Other than that, just let the system do it. You should clean it up once we scrape the headers, but for the sake of this video, we're not going to. Sometimes it helps, sometimes it doesn't. So, really, if you're looking to do this right, then do that. If you're just looking for speed, just leave what's been produced alone. So if we want to preview the content, we can absolutely do that. So you see that it just looks like a big hodgepodge mess. So what we'll do is we'll come down here, we'll click this button, we'll come down here and restructure it to the paragraph with paragraph tags. We'll say OK. We'll go ahead and reapply the modules. And then once the modules have been reapplied, we'll preview it again, and you'll see now that it looks like a nice long article about Houston, Texas insurance agents. Okay, so now we're going to click on headers, and then we are going to click scrape headers from search, and I'll go ahead and take 30. This is what I generally do. I usually use for 2,000 words a header frequency of 7 to 8, and then we'll go ahead and click generate a table of contents as well. And you can see top 10 best independent insurance agents in Houston, top blah blah blah. It's all scraped directly from the search engines. So then we're going to send these header tags over to our images alt tags as well as the video alt tags. So automatically, both video and image types now have additional relevant keywords added to them. So we'll say OK now, and it's turned blue, so you know that it's been done. Next, we'll click on images. We'll go ahead and scrape 30 again, and you can see that all of the headers that were scraped here have been pushed here in the spin tags format. So each alt tag will be a different header-based keyword, and I just like to include one tag in there, and we'll just leave this unchecked because we already have the alt tags. We'll import these 30 images, and then we'll scroll down. We do want to align images with the text, and I just choose random. So then we'll say OK. Next, we're going to go to videos, and we're going to do the exact same thing that we did with the images. We'll go ahead and scrape that. We'll do 30. I like to put the videos at the bottom of the page, not at the top of the page, which is defaulted there. So that's totally up to you what you want to do with it, but I do like to have it at the bottom. We'll go ahead and import these 30, and we'll say OK to that. Now, in the affiliate promotion system, we would use the raw section to add a call to action to the article. And if we're doing any kind of Google My Business promotion, we would want to put our NAP or even an embed to our map here. Since we're not doing that in this video, it's not necessary, but I'll be making another one of these videos for the Baxter Mind, and we'll be using more of the raw stuff here. Next, we're going to click on keywords. And as you saw, or as we talked about at the beginning, you know, these are all of our keywords that we generated from the website. Again, we're just using them as keywords. Oops. Let's get back there. Okay. Okay, so we're going to input all of these. We're going to include 9 to 10 per article, and we'll say OK. Next thing that we'll do is we will take all the links from the site, and we will import these into the article. We're not going to use the redirect because the site building system that we're using has a redirect built into it. We're going to go ahead and say OK there. Now we've added all of this, but we haven't applied it to the article yet, so we're going to click Apply Modules, and you'll see this is spinning, and once it's done spinning, now it is done. So we'll click Preview and look at what the article looks like now. So we have a table of contents in here, we have headers, we have, which the table of contents are great for SEO. We have links out to the individual websites. We have more links. We have more headers. We have images. We have more links. Mine just is long form content, and then we have our video at the bottom. And we'll go ahead and say OK. Now, again, nobody's going to see this content. They're going to see our website. We're going to be using an overlay on the site builder to overlay back to our website. So even if some of these articles, as you read it, it looks like it's really highlighting somebody else's business. Well, the reality is, if that's ranking and somebody's going to visit that business, they're going to see our directory. That's the reason why we use all of the agency names as our keywords, because these show up throughout our article, and they're they help optimize the article to that agent's name. Again, so when somebody searches that insurance agent, they are going to wind up on our website, thus making our website more valuable to the agent to upgrade their listing. So everything works in combination with each other, which is pretty cool how that works out. Okay, so let's jump back over here. Let us take a look at, now we're going to jump into the traffic system. So we're using a system called Traffic Factory. I'll go ahead and bring it up. It's a very clunky looking system, but it's an effective as to what it does. So we're bringing this up. It takes just a second for it to check its license, and then once it checks its license, it will load up. Did I not click it twice? Hold on a second. Oh, there it goes. It might be being upgraded or something here, because for some reason it's taken a bit longer than normal to open. It's usually relatively quick, but Again, it checks its license and then it opens. I like to go ahead and expand this all out. So I may do another video on this because the way that this is set up is you have an input directory, an output directory, and a template. I have one directory set up to run this at all times. So all I have to do between runs is just change the keyword list, which I'll show you here in a second, as well as change the site names. So if we go take a look at the site or the directory that this was built in, let me bring this up. Actually, let me turn off this secondary VPN. That way we can move everything just a little bit quicker on this VPS. So if I go into my downloads folder, we'll go to the seeds. I have it TF-seeds. This is just an old promotion I ran. We want to make sure the output folder is clear. So I'll go ahead and delete those two. And then I want to change the keyword list to reflect the keyword list that is that we're using for this particular promotion. Okay, so we'll go back into the root folder, and then from the root folder I'll click input, and you can see that there is a template folder here. So that's where that template file. So if we go back to Traffic Factory, you'll see that actually I have several instances of this running, so let's just close them down. So yeah, if you take a look at here, the input directory is input, the output directory is output, and then of course the template points to this particular template file here. We'll go ahead and click keywords, and let's change these keywords out with the keywords that we're using for this promotion. There'll be one page built for each keyword, which again is more SEO-ness for our website. Okay, so we'll go and click that. We'll go back over to the keywords list. We'll add that there. We'll go ahead and choose File, Save. We'll go ahead and shut that down, and we're done. We're done with that piece. So let's jump back over to Traffic Factory. Now we need a title. So we're just going to change the title to Houston, Texas Insurance Agents. We're going to use the keyword tag. So each title is going to pull from the keywords tag. Same with the meta content. We're just going to copy the title name that we just used. We're going to put that here. Oops, let's do that again. Then we're going to click on structure. We're going to delete everything here because we're going to replace this with all new keywords for the categories. We're going to go to markup. For this case, we're just going to use website. We could use any schema that you want, but for sake of simplicity and the types of sites we're building, we'll just use that. Okay, and then for our URL, we'll go back to our website, and we'll just put our URL in there, and this will be your URL that we're using. Okay. And then under extra content, we'll be putting more of the content that we generated there. Under redirect, we're going to go ahead and click advanced. We're going to clear this out because that's not necessary. Say OK. And just say cancel. And then here on the destination URL, I'm just going to put insuranceagentsnearme.co. We're going to use on page load. For the first run before we do an actual publish though, I want to uncheck this because I want to ensure that the site built correctly. And I want to be able to see the content in action rather than just the website that we're redirecting to. So let's jump back over to content. Actually, let's go ahead and generate our categories. So if we go back to our browser, I like to just type in insurance agents in Houston, Texas, and let's see what the related searches are in Google. We'll just scroll all the way down. What I'm going to do is copy all of these. Now I'm going to go to a free website called convertcase.net. Clear this out. I'm going to paste these in here. And now I'm going to look at them. So the first thing that we want to do is delete that search is related to. So we'll delete that. I guess because I'm making the video, it's making everything on my laptop really slow, but that's okay. Go ahead and click that. We're going to leave independent insurance agents near me. We're going to leave auto insurance broker Houston. We're going to leave insurance agency. We're going to delete Houston Insurance Day 2020. That's kind of silly. We're going to leave Houston Insurance News. We are going to go ahead and leave Texas Insurance Brokers, since Katy, Texas is not, I mean, that's a part of Houston, but we're going to go and delete that out. We're also going to delete this out since it references 2019. Then we're going to go ahead and say capital case. We'll turn all of these into capital cases, and then we'll copy it. Then we're going to go to another free tool called Delimio, and we'll just put those in there. And then we will create comma-based delimited data here, which will then go into our categories here. Now that's all we have to do for that. So now let's go back over to the content, and this is where we're going to take a look at our content engine again. Okay. Now we're going to say copy syntax, and you can see that it's been copied to the clipboard. We're going to come down here. We're going to delete everything. If there's any data here at this point, you're going to delete it out. Since this is from a previous run, I'm going to delete all that out, and then we're going to go ahead and click HTML editor, and then from HTML editor we'll click HTML, and we'll paste in all of that content that we just had, that we just generated. We'll say edit at that point just so it reformats, and then we'll say X. We'll close it out. Okay, so the main content is done. Now we're going to go to structure. We're going to click on markup. We're going to go. Now we have two more content pieces to change, index and category. We're going to use the other piece of content that we generated here. So let's just take a look at it first, since we didn't look at it at the edit the first time. So we'll go ahead and click that. Let's just preview it, just to make sure it looks good. Make sure there's links here, because these links are the most important piece to this entire thing. We're generating contextual links, randomized contextual links back to our website. So now we'll say copy syntax. We'll go down here, and just like we did on the main content, we'll delete everything that is there previously. We'll delete it. Then we'll click HTML editor, HTML, and then we'll paste in our content. We'll say OK, X, and then we're going to do the exact same thing on the category. You're not going to do anything with posts or tags. Nothing. Leave those blank, completely blank, and I'll show you that mine are blank. Okay, and then we'll click that. We'll click HTML editor. We'll go HTML. We'll paste all of our content in there. We'll do edit just to make sure it reformats. We'll say X, and then there's nothing in post, nothing in tag. Now we're ready to do a test build to make sure that everything looks good. We'll click start. We'll click add. We will click dummy uploader. We'll click next, and we'll click start. And what we want to do is make sure that the site builds with the content that we have, and of course it just did, so everything's good. Now let's just verify, always verify, and this is our tier 1 at this point. Okay, so we're going to go to output. Going to look at our content of our website. You can see that these are our categories. We're going to click index, and we're just going to make sure that everything looks fine on the site. So there's our table of contents, our content, our links, our headers. Let's see if our images are going to show, our images, our videos, everything's there, our categories at the bottom. This looks exactly as I want it. Now, because this is a dummy, we want to go and delete that folder that was just added to the output. I'm going to jump back over to Traffic Factory. Now we're going to click, go back to redirect, and we're going to enable the redirect. So now when we visit the website after the new deployments, it will show our website with our directory, thus, you know, all the benefits that I was mentioning earlier. So we'll go ahead and click add. This time we're going to say Amazon S3. We're going to say next. I want to choose the first, actually we're going to change the bucket name to Houston. Actually, let's do it all lowercase. Houston, Texas Insurance Agents. We'll go ahead and copy that. We're just going to leave the region at Ohio on the first one. We'll change it to another bucket in the second one. So we'll say add. Okay, that's there. Then we're going to click add again. This time we're going to choose Azure. Say next. Use the same container name. Say add. And now we're going to click start. And it's going to generate the websites. It's going to upload the websites to those locations. And then it's going to show us all the links at the bottom. And this link set here is what we're going to use in our second run of the exact same system. But let's just verify this. So let's copy it. Let's come back over to our browser. Let's click that. Open up a new browser. Index.html just to see what it looks like. And of course, it should show the directory, which it does. So the directory is coming up now. And lo and behold, my friends, our tier 1, our base site is done. So now what do? We need to boost the links to the tier 1 site with the tier 2 site. So let's do that. We're going to go and click that. We're going to get back over to Metaprise. Now we're going to go back to Traffic Factory. I'm going to copy everything except the first 2 links. Oops. If you're using any indexers like Omega Indexer or Colinkry or any of these crawlers or indexers, by all means, go ahead and put this list into that indexer. I'll go ahead and show you. Let's do that. So we'll jump into Omega. I'll probably have to log back in. But by all means, you can absolutely push. Hold on. Problem I have with Omega and Colinkry is they always have this crazy CAPTCHA that is just a bit irritating, but they have their reasons. Let's see. Okay, let me log in. Oops. Log in again. Or try. Let's see here. Perfect. Okay. And we're just going to call this, we'll call this Houston 1. So that, we're going to click new. Say Houston 1. Of course, I spelled my own hometown wrong. Houston 1. We'll go and drip feed this out for 5 days. Put of all of our links there that we just copied and pasted, and click submit. Okay, that's there. And then we'll jump over to Colinkry, or Colinkry. We'll do new. This is a crawler, not an indexer, but it does get the Googlebot to your Azure and S3 sites. We'll call this Houston 1. Again, we'll do it for 5 days. We'll paste our links in there. We'll say submit. And that's all we need to do with that. Now we still have this keyword list in our on our clipboard. So now what we're going to do is jump back over to Metaprise. We're going to click link. We're going to clear the links that are in there. We're going to click it again. We're going to put all of the links that we just had added or created in here. We'll say okay. We'll leave everything else alone. I mean, there's no reason to change anything else. Same keywords, same headers, same images. It just doesn't matter. Click update, so all the content updates with the new links. Now let's use this other content piece as our main our main content this time. So let's copy. You can see it copied to the clipboard. We'll jump back over to Traffic Factory. Remember, we have to delete the previous builds before we can make any new builds. So we're going to go back to our output folder, delete. If I was using a new keyword list, I would change the keyword list, but again, we're not. We're using the same keyword list. So we'll go back over here. Everything else is the same, except now we're changing the content for the all of the individual pages, which is coming on this main page. Again, HTML, clear it out, paste it in. You can see that our links are in there from our previous build. We'll click edit just to bring everything back in. We'll go ahead and say OK. Then we're going to click structure. Everything here remains the same. Again, tag and post are empty. On our index this time, we are going to put our original content, or our first level, our first generated content piece, I should say, which will be this one. And all I did was reverse these for these two operations. We'll go back into HTML. We'll copy that in there. We'll say edit. And then we'll do the exact same thing with the category. And then what we're going to do, we don't have to test the build this time because we know that it works with the keywords that we're using. And so we're just going to build a second one. This time though, we're going to do it with a different S3 location, which is a different IP and carries a different domain authority, pardon me, from the original. So we'll go and click start. We'll click add, use Amazon. We'll choose the region to North Virginia, which is the highest, has the highest domain authority. Under bucket name, we'll call it Houston Insurance Agents. So we're just giving it a slightly different name than the first one. We'll say copy that, click add. We'll do add again. This time we're going to choose Azure. Click next. Click container name. Click add. Now we're going to start it up. Okay, and so what's happening here is, again, it's creating the site and uploading it. And again, we have another list of URLs different from the first. We'll just verify it. Oops. We'll verify it. Make sure that it redirects to our website, which it does. I knew it would, so I mean, I'm confident in this. So there we go. We have that. Next, we're going to do the exact same thing that we did with the linking system. I copy it all. And we're going to go back to the crawlers. So we'll call this one Houston 2. Just set the drip for 5 days. All new URLs. And then we'll go to Colinkery. Do that again, or to Omega, sorry. Call this Houston 2. Do a 5-day drip. And that, my friends, is it. So what we've done is we've created a 2-tier system. Tier 2 links to Tier 1. Tier 1 links back to our website using the keywords, which are actually the names of the agents. So theoretically, because of the domain authority of both Microsoft and Amazon, we'll be catapulting the names of the agents higher than likely their own website, unless they've had some very strong SEOs working on their stuff over time. Thus, outranking them, showing that we are the dominant player in the niche, and hopefully getting them over to upgrade. So the next video, I'll show the power-up system. But for now, this is it. This is the entire system. This is a way to get all the links on your site indexed, ranked, and agent names ranked, and making your site a bit more authoritative in Google's minds, because you're pushing some pretty strong Amazon and Microsoft authority to your site. Hope you enjoyed.